Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Ryan Sands before the 2014 Western States. How you doing?
Yeah, really good. Been here for a few weeks now, so yeah, getting really excited for the race now.
You've been here for a couple weeks. You were down in Auburn for a couple weeks and up here in the Tahoe area for a couple weeks. I'm assuming you've checked out a lot of the course?
Yeah, I'd say I've checked out or run about 80% of the course, maybe 70%. So I know what's coming, but obviously I was here in 2012, so kind of got a gauge of what the course is about then. So yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously have a bit more experience and knowledge of the course the second time around. Yeah,
having raced the course and now having checked out other parts of the course again, are there any places that you think you can make some big improvements or run a different strategy in?
I think I got my race strategy pretty got it down to it went pretty well last time in 2012. So I think I'll probably stick to a similar strategy. But yeah, I think there are parts of the course that I've eyed out that I think will suit me. But again, it's 100 miles, anything can happen out there, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I think it's just about kind of starting out conservatively and seeing how you feel when you get to Forest Hill, and then I think the race only really starts from Forest Hill.
Yeah, and this year is not going to be, we don't know exactly what the weather's going to be, but it's not going to be a terribly hot day, and it's not going to be a terribly cool day. What's it going to be like? It's going to be maybe 15 degrees warmer than 2 years ago, though. Does that change your strategy at all?
No, I was actually, the hotter it's going to be, the more I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy running in the heat, and I think it'll favour me. But yeah, obviously the hotter it gets, the more important it is just to really look after yourself and make sure you're properly hydrated and you get cooled down. So I think it's obviously important to chat to your crew and make sure they know what you need beforehand. But I don't think my strategy will change much. I think it's just about, I suppose the hotter it gets, the more the race becomes about survival.
Yeah. You were second to Timmy 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you ran the second fastest time ever here at Western States. Does that put any pressure? I mean, you're coming in here as one of 2 or 3 favorites for sure, if not the favorite. Do you feel any pressure on that?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of can channel pressure in the right way, but I think there's so many strong runners that are coming into the race. So I think there are probably 15 to even 20 guys that I feel could win the race if they have a good day.
Yeah.
I think they're 10 plus really strong guys. So I think it's up to kind of who wants it the most on the day, and probably who runs the smartest race.
Yeah.
I think if you run a stupid race out there, you can be as strong as you want, but you're going to suffer the consequences later on. I
assume you're going for the win?
Yeah, obviously that would be nice to get one better than 2012. But again, to say, for 100 miles, I never like to get too far ahead of myself. Anything can happen. You can be having a bad day. So I think first things first will be about trying to get to Forest Hill feeling strong, and then take things from there.
Yeah, if you had to name 2 or 3 guys who you think most likely to be challenging you if you're going for the win on Saturday.
Yeah, obviously I think definitely Rob Craw is going to be really strong out there. He hasn't raced a lot this year, so I think he's been really smart, and looks like he's focusing on the race. I think Dylan Bauman ran with him a few weeks ago. He's looking pretty strong and super psyched and amped. There's also guys like, I think, Miguel Uraz. Ran with him this morning. He's looking fairly strong, fit and healthy, so I think he'll be a strong competitor. And even someone like Jens Sharman, I think he's been seems to be focusing quite a lot specifically on Western States. So I think that those guys will definitely be up there.
Nice. You mentioned that Rob Craw hasn't raced a lot.
Yes.
You've had a lot of hard miles on your legs, and I keep thinking, when are those wheels going to come off? I mean, do you feel like energized? I mean, both physically and mentally. You've had a lot of racing.
Yeah, I've tried to be smart in my training and really focused on recovery after UTMF in Japan. So I'm feeling good, excited. So yeah, I think I've fully recovered. I hope I've fully recovered. I suppose I'll know in a few days' time. But I think Western States is kind of my last major race of the year. Got a couple of smaller races later in the year, so I'll definitely take some time off after Western States. But as I say, I really have focused on recovery and try to not overdo the training too much. I've kind of done my really long training runs, I suppose, in some of the racing I've done this year.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit on the way over here. I mean, this is just a gorgeous area, an amazing place to run. How have you been able to restrain yourself the last week or so to not overdo it, not just go out and run 20 miles a day?
Yeah, it's tough, but that's why I think Lake Tahoe is one of my kind of most favorite places in the world. That's why I always like coming here for as long as possible before the race, kind of escape the Cape Town winter back home in South Africa. So it is tough. You like every day is like this. There's some insane trails around Lake Tahoe, so it is tough. There's like so much to do around here. It's a multi-sport paradise, a running paradise. So yeah, you definitely do have to restrain yourself. It does suck to only go out and run for an hour or two a day, and then you have to kind of lock yourself in the house. But yeah, I suppose you got to be professional about it and realize that kind of come Saturday you got 100 miles to run, so I need to be as well rested as possible.
Has there been a section of trail around here that's just really been outstanding for you? You just really enjoyed above the rest?
She says so much. Like on the rim trail, I know running parts of the Flume Trail is pretty incredible. Just like you're kind of running right along the ridge, and there's just these massive cliffs that drop off to the side. Actually,
looking straight west out to the Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, that's pretty spectacular. Actually, rode it on a bike the last time I was here. I've tried to stay off the bike this time. Some of the cliff drops were pretty sketchy, so yeah, I didn't want to kind of do anything stupid just before the race. But yeah, I think the whole area is just really incredible, and yeah, I'd love one day to actually try and run the full rim trail. Looks like quite an epic challenge.
Yeah. When you go over to some place like Trans Gran Canaria or even Ultra Trail Mount Fuji, I'm sure you're very recognizable. People are coming up to you, probably wanting pictures taken. Has it been like that, in Auburn or Incline Village, or is it pretty low key in comparison? Yeah,
I think it's pretty low key, but it's pretty cool. I think the race is really special. I might not kind of have all that like the hype and buzz as some of the European races have, but I think it's kind of special in its own unique way. I think just some of the volunteers and the guys that have been kind of manning the aid stations for 30 plus years, and they've got kind of so many different stories. So actually, yeah, I bumped into a couple of the guys that have manned the aid station. It's always interesting chatting to them. A lot of the older guys say the course is a lot easier now. Back when they ran it, it's a lot more rugged. And
of course.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently the course is about 9 miles shorter. So I suppose it's give or take. And then yeah, I made a lot of cool friends around here, and the guys are super welcoming and friendly. So yeah, it's a really special place for me.
A few years ago, you were well known for doing the stage races, and you were a tough runner. But over the last 2 or 3 years, you've really just, at least from an observer's point of view, really made a step up in how fast you can run these, top level races. What have you changed in that, from those early days of stage racing to
now,
to kicking ass on the world stage?
Yeah, I suppose I started running relatively late. I think when I was doing the stage race, I only had just started running, so it's just been a natural progression for me. And yeah, I think I just really enjoy what I'm doing. So obviously, just I suppose push my training a bit harder, try to get as much help and advice as possible with training, and yeah, I think just enjoy the whole experience. I think that helps. If you enjoy what you're doing, it's a lot easier to perform well. And I suppose also try to race smart and try to run as injury free as much as possible. I think with ultra trail running, I think there's so many talented runners out there, but there are also so many races out there, so a lot of people tend to over race and overdo things, which I've tried not to do. Obviously this year I've had quite a busy first half of the year, but that's why I say I'll definitely kind of make sure I take some downtime towards the end of this year.
Well, nice. Well, enjoy Western States, and enjoy the downtime afterward.
Thank you. I will do.
Cheers.